Oh, free food, I think, for the most part.
Probably.
And you get to meet Jackie in person, and who doesn't want that?
That is very true. Probably quite a few people. We're live, Jason.
We are live.
Well, let's get right into it then.
I just wanted to hear what they were saying.
Yeah.
Don't go, don't push out of the way.
Did you really just lean closer to the monitor as if you could hear it better?
Yeah, let him.
He literally just leaned his head closer to the monitor as if the monitor was giving off the sound. He's wearing headphones.
I was just getting into it.
You know, there's a little knob next to you that you can turn up and down.
You're one of those.
I had to turn it down because your voice was just
Oh, sorry. Was it too demanding for you?
It was too nice. I was trying to focus.
Well, it's unlucky. I'm sorry about that, Jason.
I hit one in the connector.
But it looks like we are into the action, as the point will be instantly controlled there by VRespawn to kick this one off, as per usual, appearing to be the early aggressors.
So I just got word.
Point contested.
Oh, sorry, I was just talking to production to figure out something that they said to me. Because they're actually trying to observe a game, because you can actually physically be in the game and move around as a
float around
player.
like a free cam.
Yeah, but we do have obviously some controllers set up to give more of a smoother transition of how things go.
Yep.
And look at that clear communication.
Yeah.
Get in positions, get set up. They have set things they want to do. So maybe I kind of ignite out a little bit too early. Gotta give them credit. And again, if they come into this taking this seriously, where VRespawn, if they haven't, then we could definitely see a big upset here.
Ooh, that is a ton of damage, though. As the initial shots start coming through from VRespawn, the absolute bombardment of explosions that are just popping off all over the site as they attempt to regain control of this one. It's in heavy contest. They are starting to lose out ever so slightly in the battle of attrition, but it appears they might be able to overwhelm and lock it down here. As VRespawn finally going to gain control once more.
See if they can maintain it, though. Again, the damage. That's just a hell of a lot of it. Let's just be honest. Darth having a tough time there. He's going to be healed up in a second.
Yeah, Darth Dillman from the newest Star Wars movie.
It's actually the third cousin of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
The 8th cousin from Darth Vader.
Wow.
And Captain Picard's brother.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard?
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
Learn something every day. So 57% and counting here for VRespawn as they're looking to maintain control of this. You can see Super Rope trying to come in from under. He's actually just trying to, I think, stall for some time right now, trying to get himself healed back up. But it doesn't seem to have mattered. College Worthless is going to go down, but they still have enough damage done on the side to ignite to be able to lock this down and maintain it for a longer period of time here. You can see Kaznaz trying to catch on to him, even using his foot as well. I like that, using the enemy's body to your advantage to help them help you get around the map.
That's one of the mechanics I feel like we'll actually see a little bit more of as this goes on, is obviously trying to utilize not only your teammates, but possibly your enemies in a helpful fashion.
In Echo Arena, you see a lot of that, is you can't kill each other, but you can run, you can fly into them, punch them in the face, then boost off of them, as if you're like boosting off a teammate, so you like stun them, make them immobile, and you get away from them.
That's pretty, yeah.
I think it's more of used here just to kind of like, because obviously it's really hard to like shoot down to your foot, and if you're moving around and they're like tailing you perfectly, it kind of makes things a little bit odd for you and hard to actually, convert it into a kill. But in the meantime, we've seen VRespawn get a ton of kills here, 90%. Are they able to get here in time? They're going to need to get the movement to get here. Look, it's not even daisy chain off each other, so we're seeing definitely a lack of skills of movement, I'll say. If you compare them to like Kangarillas from Echo Arena, who know how the mechanics work. They're not daisy chaining or re-grabbing off each other where you have one player holding onto the foot of another player, they throw themselves off that player, and then the player grabs your foot as you pass by, then they pull off you, and you do it back and forth to get an insane amount of speed. They could have contested that if they did it, but they just didn't. They just flew in by themselves. So a big difference in mobility. And honestly, if you think about FPS games, arena FPS games, or even like traditional FPS games, movement is always a massive factor.
Yeah, movement is key in an awful lot of games. From Quake to Counter-Strike and everything in between. If you don't understand the movement systems that are key to that title, you'll never really hit that true.
It's not Call of Duty, because you just get jetpacks and
you just run on walls. Yeah, it's just standard. But that's sort of what we're seeing with this, is teams that actually understand that mechanic and know how to use it are really getting the most out of it. Because obviously you can attack the point way more, you can go for more riskier firefights because it's not as bad as getting back there.
You can really catch the team off guard, not expecting to get around to a certain position as quickly. Like we saw in one of our earlier matches with Spax and Krabs up against, actually no, it was Gravity versus Floaters Unite. But here we go, trying to go for the next round, trying for the initial control, the initial damage being done, and it seems to have favored VRespawn yet again. And look at that explosive damage being done. They're like constantly tagging multiple people up. with damage left and right. And again, that comes down to just the meteors, the AoE splash damage, really able to punish them trying to group up close in these tight quarters.
Yeah, that was nicely done from them. Overall, it was a good early engagement from Ignite, the way they all peeked together. They went around the corner in a fairly explosive fashion, but VRespawn just proving they are really quicker on the draw when it comes down to it.
Quicker on the respawn.
There you go.
Except they didn't need to respawn there. Not too many of them. Another fight going to be coming in again. Look at the explosive damage. They're funneling them into these tight, close quarter combat positions. Obviously, the Nova can be massive here, but if you're not given an opportunity to use it because of all the explosive damage coming your way, look at that. Just the health bars just being shredded left and right. And again, VRespawn didn't lose a single player here. I mean, the first round was a little bit different, where you saw Ignite able to take control, but I think now that VRespawn have been able to get themselves set up the way they want to, they're definitely getting the fights they want to as well, and hopefully we don't see Robo go down here because he's pretty much by himself, but we're going to see the reinforcements come any second now.
Yeah, they need to try and get that squad back together and actually link up if they're going to fight this. 50% now for VRespawn. They are at least contesting it. They trade 1-for-1 in the early fight, but that starts to drop off even more for Ignite as they're losing a ton of players. Robo's going to go down. There's Darth to finish things off, and VRespawn are going to be as happy as Larry now.
Who's Larry?
Lethal's brother.
Why is he happy?
He's just always is. It's just the saying.
How can you gauge how happy he is compared to other people?
It's the standard British happiness chart, or the STEBUS,
right,
for short.
Okay. Like at a hospital, like your pain chart, 0 to 10. It's like a happiness chart.
So you look at the smile.
Right.
And, you judge that based off their HPS, their happiness per second.
Well, speaking of HPS, look at DPS here. As you can see, Ignite just falling again. When it comes to these battles, they just don't seem to be able to contest up against VRespawn that well. 96%, so if they lose this fight, that's going to be them taking the round and the map, and that's going to do it. That's going to be VRespawn. Again, three maps in a row. They took their first series and looking to take series number 2 here up against Ignite.
Yeah, seems likely as well. Ignite definitely putting up more of a fight than what we expected to see in some of the scenarios. That first round,
I was hoping you
look good.
Rhyming.
Huh?
I was hoping you were going to keep rhyming there.
Just keep it going. Maybe. We'll build on that throughout the flow of the show. We've still got one more map.
Okay. I'll issue a challenge. 100 euros for you.
Okay. Right.
If you can you can rhyme the entire way through the next map. But you can't just do one line and not talk.
It'd be a struggle,
to
though,
legitimately
wouldn't it?
commentate with me.
But you'd have to rhyme everything.
You have to rhyme the entire time.
Wow. That would be a crime, Jason.
Yeah, but 100 euros.
Literally 100 euros.
100 euros.
My goodness.
It's like 5 times your day rate.
Wow.
Just kidding.
I know. That would be mental. Think of all the yogurts.
Why yogurts?
Because they've got loads of good bacteria.
Why not just lick an escalator? Or lick the buttons on an elevator?
It's probably not good bacteria, is it?
Yeah, but isn't... Whatever. Let's just move on. Let's move on to the next map. Let's look at some highlights, actually, from map number 1. Why are we ingesting bacteria anyways? That's the real question.
You need it for a healthy gut. And let me tell you, if a team knows anything about a healthy gut, it's VRespawn, as they looked ridiculously healthy in that map.
I'll give you that one. That wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Mediocre. That's what we go for.
That's what we aim for here. Mediocre casting.
This was really the downfall as well that we saw, is Ignite fighting in that really tight, close angle, like twice. They had 2 fights that were horrible for them because of the splash damage that we had coming out.
I think it's because of the position they're in, because they're the ones that have to move forward. VRespawn can just peek and go for the shots and hide. Yeah. It's not like they can hide going in and mitigate the damage. It's like we peek around, shoot you, back away, peek around, shoot you, back away, and they'll take minimal damage, but doing maximum amount of damage they possibly can. Surprised they did it twice. Maybe it wasn't so nice. So maybe they should have gone thrice.
Yeah, and then we saw them put on ice.
Yep. I'm not having to. I don't have to rhyme.
No,
not my job. You're not giving me 100 euros.
Well, this is going to turn into a whole thing now.
Yeah.
I don't reckon I can do it. I feel like it's too much effort.
That's fine.
I mean, it'd be too hard to bombard.
Good to know you don't want to put in any effort.
Well, yeah, I put effort in that way, but not in rapping. Well, rhyming.
You have your own mixtape. You've literally sent it to me. I
know. It is straight fire, to be fair. It is absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
You featured on it.
Was I?
Yeah, on the second album.
The Noseman.
The Noseman's Echoes is what the title.
Okay. Give me a little line from it.
God. He's sniffing up the competition like a big anteater. I think that was the hook that you dropped. I mean, you wrote it, not me.
I wrote it. I didn't remember writing anything. I don't write. I can't write.
No, I've seen.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're waiting for the next map to come up. It's going to be Combustion. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different style. I don't know. We switched so quickly there. It's a little bit of a different style than Dyson. You can see a lot more movement dependence, which I think is going to hurt Ignite quite a bit. I could be wrong, but just from what we saw in the first map when they were trying to contest last second, they didn't re-grab each other. They just kind of try to float in, and that's never the best way to do it. So I'm expecting to see some early control come in right off the bat out of VRespawn around the point, and then they can force the fights. I feel like if they realize that their mobility is so much better, they can just get super aggressive all the time and catch them off guard. And I don't know what Ignite can do other than hit them with like a point-blank Nova Blast to be able to combat.
That is kind of the overall struggle. I think teams that do have the movement systems really cut down to the core and understand how to utilize that so effectively are the squads that are overall going to win. But let's see what our teams actually have to say for themselves.
Prepare to capture
It took so long.
I know.
Talking that they,
Here we go.
It means it's gonna end bad.
For me!
that could have been me playing. I do that. I make that sound all the time. Huh?
Yeah. Well, they're onto the Jason pillar. Let's kick this one off.
You know, actually, in Quake, I do have a spot named after me, the J spot.
It's good, Snake. You'll have to show me the J spot later.
I can try. I don't know if my laptop can run it, though. Anyways, you see the push coming back in. Again, fighting completely away from the point. Looks like VRespawn, though, going to get completely caught off guard there as they lose 3 men off the bat. Bitman's going to be there trying to stall for some time. And he gets hit. Whoa, that was a great little snipe there. Looks like heat-seeking missiles coming out of that meteor.
captured.
It's like Armageddon going on here. Deep impact. Oh, you haven't been rhyming, by the way.
No, I know. I haven't
fresh
been
start
rhyming.
from now.
Are you? I've got nothing. I'm not good at rhymes.
That's fine.
It's quite a crime.
The time. Oh, see, got me there.
We're double rhyming. It's too many rhymes.
Okay, I'll stop. Ignite at 27% and counting. They do have some sort of control of the point. Look at that. You see them trying to come in from the low ground. Again, that threat scanner able to give you so much information and give you the opportunity to get in a position to get these fights going your way and to get the damage done. I would love to see a little bit more usage out of the Comet, though. Get some early chip damage in before you do force these fights if they give you an angle. Again, using the pillars, using their terrain to try to hide behind these. But you could come in from a couple different spots. And look at that. That was like a triple hit coming in, taking Kazan, Vex, and Codsworth relatively low in HP, as Codsworth is going to be the first one to fall. The damage has been done counter-wise, though, out of VRespawn. Ignite are going to lose quite a few players.
Yeah, that was actually very nicely executed on the way back towards us. I know you're looking at me for rhymes. It's very serious, Jason. It's a show match here.
Good. No 100 euros for you.
No, you can't be messing around. It'd be ridiculous. But that was actually a good execution. We're seeing a bit more of it coming out. It is mostly just from VRespawn, but they are definitely the side that understand the mechanics to a good pedigree. Ooh, here we go.
This isn't the re-grabbing. I mean, they're going to find through with the relative speed, but they could get a lot quicker around. But then again, they want to stay clumped up, which I can respect that. They want to like lose a couple of players, especially because it's so easy to mess up the re-grabbing, and then you lose a player like really far ahead of you, and someone gets left behind, and then you can be picked off. Especially if VRespawn notice that and are able to push in. And actually, speaking of pushing, are going to be doing just that, coming in for the backside, taking on Super Rope, taking on Darth as well. And then just that 2-man little squad that we saw. Actually, I think it was a 3-man squad, able to just get so much damage done. And look at that aggression again.
It's actually getting the effects from the hill there as well, even though he's so far away from his squad. So they've actually had that set up probably pretty well rehearsed. You have the 2 players in the further angle, but still close enough to actually gain the benefits of that repair matrix, allowed to pretty much maul their way through the entire Ignite team to put them into a position now to potentially take this one. This would be the last real fight. If they lose this, VRespawn would claim the point.
Let's see. Well, before the fight even starts, when 2 players get caught out, the other 2 trying to flank around. Again, I think that was I think that's really hard to do. With the threat scanner, it's really hard to kind of separate yourself and to go for these 2-man pushes from different angles, because then they're going to notice it right away, push in against you, and then that is exactly what's going to happen. So I think they kind of need to like figure out the timings on that threat scanner and try to use it to their advantage, try to go for it when they know it's not up. But if you get caught like that, then it's all over. And again, if you don't have the ability to run away, to recognize it, then there's no way you're going to win those fights when you have 3 people barreling down on you, unless you hit some ridiculous shots.
It is a bit of a struggle, really, though, in being able to actually get those big, heavy damage-dealing shots off early on because of the style of play that we've seen coming out. Once more.
Re-grab.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, a little bit. Not too much. They do get there a little bit quicker, but both teams relatively same pace, though. If we compare them to Gravity, then there's definitely a little bit of difference in speed. Again, they're setting up, looking for some early damage here. Point will unlock momentarily, but no one on VRespawn's giving them an opportunity to hit a shot just yet. So I'd like to see the sniper here, but I don't think they're really going for too much of it here. You can see the counter snipers coming through, though.
This is probably the heaviest usage of the Meteor we've seen as well. It's like everyone running it at the minute right now, trying to get those early shots off.
Vex was taking a lot of damage. He's going to be healed back up. Going to be actually pushing into them here. The two-man squad. They're actually leave one man behind. It's going to be Vidman to just sit on the point, try to stall, so they can't capture it. They're going to be coming back in. It's going to be a 3-on-3. The Respawns have come in for both these two teams. They should be coming in momentarily here to help out. But again, a little bit of a 2-for-2 trade. Not sure who's actually come out on top of this, but it looks like it's going to be Ignite here. There's enough people left. Look how hard it is to hit these shots. This is why we're seeing so much AoE splash damage done with the Meteor just to hit them. And yeah, I was going to say, don't tell me Vex is going to survive that.
Oh, the instant response, though. Straight back in. COD's worthless, proving that he does have an awful lot of worth back towards the side of VRespawn, as he's just putting everyone to bed.
Thing is, you know, you look at Sprint Vector, such a completely different game than Echo or Combat or Arena. But the stamina you build up to be able to do moves like that, to be able to swipe left and right, to get around the pillar constantly, it takes a toll on you. And games like Sprint Vector, where you're running with your arms pumping the entire time, helps you build up that stamina, and that's something you can really never underestimate when it comes to playing VR games, is that stamina and be able to maintain that for such an extended period of time. You look at Onward and, you know, the old format, they'd be playing for hours and would have to be able to maintain that kind of level of play when you're crouching, you're proning, you're standing up, you're moving around constantly. It's very difficult to do, and I think a lot of players out there who don't, you know, play VR don't understand how hard it is.
Yeah, there is a whole different level of physicality to it in terms of how it will overall affect you.
The flyby shot. A little drive-by coming in. Get some damage done, but there's still a lot of players that Ignite here. But you see the Gauntlet contestant coming back in! The damage out of the Nova! Able to capture quite a few different targets here, but it's not enough to finish off anyone.
This is just pure ridiculousness coming through. Everyone is getting slaughtered right now towards the point. He's styling on people as he dances his way around the Jason pillar, and everyone is just being destroyed.
That's what happens when you dance with Jason Pillar. You're going to get destroyed. That doesn't make sense. Just like stamina in playing VR, we need stamina when casting VR. You know, the repush comes back in. Peculiar, I think, was the one leading the push in. He's pretty much by himself up against 4, so he's almost certainly going to fall from this. So they're actually chasing him, but they're actually luring 2 people off of the point. So it actually could work out their favor if 23 was able to get there in time, but Robo wasn't able to. He's going to drop, and now it's going to be a 4-on-2 on the point, and I think that almost might do it. Ignite will have one more chance to attack, but it's going to be a scrappy fight, if anything.
Yeah, this is really do or die for them right now. If they're going to be able to try and at least gain control, it might be isolated. Peculiar would have to do something quite ridiculous and out of the ordinary. As they're going to group up, they send in as a squad of 2, but they've not got much time. If they're going to tap it, it needs to be now, 99%, and it isn't going to happen. They were instantly mauled, and that is the win for VRespawn. They're on an absolute roll.